I don't know. I thought you were.
I was your timekeeper.
Well, yeah, you are. You got to do something here.
You need a little clock on the back of the stuff that counts down.
Get a buzzer like at the basketball games.
I
That'd
got
be
it.
great.
I
Let
got
us
it.
know when we're. Oh, we're ready.
Are we good?
We're good. Welcome. Good morning.
Good
It's
morning.
Maryland Poppin' HorrorCon, and we are with Richard John Walters.
Hello.
Yay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Did you have a good night?
Yeah, a restful night.
So
In,
it helped you rest. So you had a good day yesterday, and you got some rest.
yes. The end of the night was good. I slept very well. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
good. No problem. I'm glad I
Yes.
could help.
Yes. Very good. I don't want to advertise what.
No,
you
no,
guys
no.
need.
That's good. We're good. Yeah,
We're good. We're good.
yeah, yeah. Because I did too. So
Nice.
you know.
Little inside jokes going on and stuff. None of us understand.
I wasn't privy to the information I found out after the fact.
Well, you should have a microphone.
No.
So, just to start off, since we are doing a panel, where'd you grow up? Who got you to want to be a lawyer?
Oh, wow. I grew up, I went to Shaler High School. That's just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, city proper. But I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And as far as being a lawyer, I watched a PBS show regarding a public defender. It was like this public defender was defending this really poor black guy who he had bought a gun because he wanted to be a security guard. That was his life's goal. This black guy to be the security guard. And this white public defenders defending him, and basically the defense is he just didn't know any better. And then this black prosecutor's trying to prosecute the guy, and the whole mixture of race and it was the power of the jury. Even though this guy had a gun, he was found not guilty by reason of the power of the jury, because even though the statutes were against him and everything was against him. And that's where I first got the idea of going to law school. I had romanticized visions of being a champion of liberty or whatnot, and that's what really got me into the idea of being a lawyer.
Were you a good arguer as a kid?
Um,
Getting out of trouble easily? Like, hey, mom, dad.
I can talk my way out of anything. I complained a lot, and I imitated people a lot.
Really?
I was, I think about these guys called the Mother Brothers used to come over and visit my sisters, and they were New Yorkers, and they were from Long Island, and I'd always imitate those. I have these sisters that are 7, 8, and 9 years older than me, and I used to always imitate these guys when they come over. And I remember this one time when I went down to see my sister. Like, she was like, I don't know, 17 or 18 years old, and one of the mother's brothers was sleeping with her, but he didn't have his clothes off. But I looked down, and my sister was so happy to see me. But then this guy gets up, and he's all kind of mad, and I'm like 10 years old, and I'm watching him walk past me. He's got this like huge thing between his legs, and I'm thinking, why is he so upset? I don't understand. And I guess the point of that story is the Mother's Brothers came over a lot, and I got to work on my New York accent a lot. So that's my Mother's Brothers story.
Okay, is that what did that turn you into acting too?
Well, I guess probably it's just the fantasy of being another person, of trying to I don't know if I want to get away with something. Am I trying to get away with something? Am I trying to out of a jam? I guess that's the actor has a way to solve it's like the Marine almost adapt, improvise, and overcome. And the actor uses all his skills, you know, his physical form, his voice, intonation, emotion, uses everything he can that he's born with to solve the problems of time and space and trying to recreate the reality, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
You know, I mean, acting's always been, you know, I always looked at it as individuals trying to be the best they can as somebody else.
Right. Well, yeah, it's ironic because they say the real you has to come through, but you know, you've got to, you know, if you got to do a New York accent or something, you got to do your New York accent, or if you have to, or your Irish accent or whatever it is, and you just, you react underneath that, cover, that, yeah.
Did you used to role play as a little kid?
With Mother's Brothers.
With the Mother's Brothers. No role playing with the Mother's Brothers. No, I was a jock when I was a kid. I was into football and you know, I wrestled in high school, played football, track, you know, baseball when I was a kid. And then I just you know, are we allowed to admit edibles? Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, right. So you know, the edible thing, which we discussed earlier on. I was sort of like this burnout jock when I was a kid who got into acting because I went to law school, and I always sat in the back of the room, and I was afraid to talk, actually. And so, because, you know, I remember there's one question the professor asked. I knew the answer was moral relativism. You know, there were no fixed points of right and wrong. And he goes, well, what's this guy talking about? And I was so afraid to talk, to reach up my hand and say, the answer you're looking for is moral relativism. I just sat there and said, I vowed that I would never allow myself to be so afraid that I wasn't able to talk. So after law school, and after I put away the drugs and alcohol thing for a while, that's when I got into acting, and that's when I started doing community theater and really just stretching myself and really doing a lot of different roles.
So you're a bit of like a Renaissance man. You've done acting, dancing, a lawyer, like football. Are you just bored in life?
I guess there's some truth to that. I guess I tend to study something intensively and obsessively, and you know, like for instance, Argentine tango I got into because I used to love rockabilly, and then and then the rockabilly people were dancing swing, and then the swing people were dancing salsa, and then the salsa people were dancing Argentine tango, and I just fell in love with like Argentine tango. But I became obsessed with it, and I would take lessons constantly, and then when instructors came in from out of town, I would take them. So it's just an example of studying intensely, and actually with regard to acting, I went out to LA from 2001 to 2006. And I actually went to, it's called the Will Greer Theatricum Botanicum. And it's like these hippies that study Shakespeare out in Topanga Canyon. And I did that for 3 summers. You know, most people don't go out to LA and study Shakespeare, but that's what I did because I guess it's reflective of me and my personality. I sort of jump into stuff. I just go full bore at it. And, yeah, I guess the Renaissance man thing is just a reflection of studying something intensely and moving on to something else, I guess.
So what would your dream role be?
I love Marlon Brando. You know, maybe on the waterfront just popped into my mind. Um, I love Apocalypse Now. Yeah, probably probably something like Marlon Brando and Apocalypse Now. Probably some something where I'm leading a ragtag band of maybe bad people that are trying to be good or something, trying to do the right thing.
Mercenaries.
Yeah, Mercenaries, the Dirty Dozen, maybe the leader of a Dirty Dozen type of movie or something like that. Probably it's probably got to be a war movie where I'm leading people on in the battle or something like that. I think that's where I'd be most effective.
Like the old Rat Patrol.
Yeah, the Rat Patrol.
You don't remember that? It was a TV show a long time ago. That's even before your time.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely before.
Yeah, it was
mine.
called the Rat Patrol.
Right.
Yeah, they drove around in tanks
Ah,
and jeeps with guns.
yeah, that sounds like a little
They
Rat
were like
Patrol.
that, sort of like the 18, but 20 years before that.
Yeah,
I know the 18.
Jesse. Well, I'm a little bit older, so you know, I watch the older stuff.
yeah. I think a Beretta would be good. That's the name of that tune. I could be like a Beretta guy. Or yeah.
What was that Kojak, Telly Savalas?
Yeah, no, he was the original. I think,
I do know that.
Yes.
I think everybody copies him. You know, copies that show. Every detective show copies the Telly Savalas
Mm-hmm.
show. I think. I mean, if you just watch the show, I mean,
Yeah, between that and Dragnet,
yeah, probably.
I'm really showing my age.
That's all right.
So you also play guitar, you sing.
Yeah. What's your
perf-
favorite music to chill out to that you found since you've now become a guitarist as well? And how did that happen? Like, were you just once again on board and
Yeah, I
Serenading the judge.
look, Your Honor, couldn't have done it.
I moved to Charleston, West Virginia after graduating from West Virginia University. And I worked on a trucking dock in Dunbar, West Virginia. And when I was living in Charleston, I just started taking guitar lessons back when I was 23. And so that's really where the guitar playing came around. I've always loved music and wanted to be really a musician, among other things. You know, the fantasy of being a rock guitarist or something like that, or a star. I don't know. I've always loved music, and I've always DJ'd every my events, and I actually like a Argentine tango DJ. I love music so much. Yeah, where was I going with this? But
No idea.
right. But these, yeah, so the guitar thing just comes from yeah, I want to do something more with music, and I have more of an opportunity now to play some songs. And right now, I just want to get, just play open mics and stuff like that.
Do you actually read music or do you play by ear?
I really just play by ear. I can read a little bit of music. I've sung in choirs before, and I can read music in that sense, the upper clef and the lower clef, and I sing bass and whatnot. I've sung in a cappella choirs. Yeah. So, yeah.
My research didn't go into that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's where the whole music thing comes from. It's just a part of me, and I want to just make it. It's relaxing is the big thing, it's
And
just
it's a big form of expression too.
right.
Personal expression,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, and I hopefully it makes other people relax when I play around them. I don't want to be annoying. Obviously not. Yeah.
So, are you into paranormal at all? Have you ever had any paranormal experiences?
I've had, you know what precognitive dreams are?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I've had a lot of deja vu experiences. And the precognitive dream experience is where, this is what I consider, where you dream a segment of time, and then that actual segment of time occurs. So what happened when I've only had a few of these, but the really big one was I remember playing high school football for Shaler High School, and I had this dream where we were playing Seneca Valley, and in the dream I'm playing Seneca Valley, and they flopped, and I played defensive tackle, and I'm lining up, and the offensive line for Seneca Valley switches their alignment, flips, and they're wearing scrimmage jerseys, and then then the ball snaps, and I go over and make the tackle. So what happens is, like 2 weeks later, we play Seneca Valley, and I line up for this one play, and the exact play happens the way I dreamed it. So I just, how do you explain something like that? And I think that is paranormal,
Oh, yeah.
and a sign that something's bigger going on around us, I believe.
This is something you need to pay attention to.
Yes, that was, yeah. I mean, I made that tackle after making that play, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I look up, and I think it's a full moon, and I'm ready to pass out, and I go, next play. You can't wait around and talk about precognitive dreams with your football buddies. You got to keep playing the football. But yeah, so I've had a couple of those, so I definitely believe in
The supernatural.
the supernatural.
So you believe in ghosts and stuff like that too?
No, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe stuff like that. Is only the only power that stuff has over you is the power you give it. So, like for instance, there's a woman named Garnet Ivy Collier who died in my current residence back in Pittsburgh, and she died of an overdose about a year and a half ago after I had, I don't know, this tenant of mine who's a horrible person is now in jail. I think he gave her this overdose or whatever, right? So anyways, the point of the story is that, I sleep in the same place where this woman died, and I don't allow the thought that she's a ghost or something to haunt me, because I just don't really believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the idea of
Okay. All
Yes.
right. See, I look at things like that. Some things have to be believed to be seen.
right. Well, I can't rule out what other people experience. If they experience something, then that experience has a reality. At least it has a reality to them subjectively.
Yep.
So in that sense, maybe they are seeing ghosts, or maybe they're having a delusion. Is another way to explain it.
True that. Did you have a question?
Sure. You talked about watching this thing about this guy who had tried to buy a gun. I was wondering if you remember what the charges were, because I was just thinking, how are we necessarily illegal to buy a gun? I'm just trying to think about what that was, if you remember.
Yeah, the best it was possession of a gun for which, this is back. I think the place took back and actually occurred in Baltimore. memory is correct. So it's in the city. So maybe he wasn't having, he was not allowed to be in possession of a gun in, I don't know, on the subway, or maybe it was the area he was in. Yeah. So that's all I can really remember about that.
What kind of law exactly?
I practiced everything from criminal law, immigration,
Of course you did.
contracts. I'd write will. Yeah.
What is doing that?
Yeah,
Speaking
a
of
ghost.
ghosts.
You did?
it did. Yeah.
All right.
He's a believer now.
What's the best concert you've been to? Anything iconic?
When I was a kid, I always remember going to a Who concert when I was 17, and being on a Who concert. And the next week they went to Cincinnati and had that huge. The next week, first they were in Pittsburgh, and the next week they were in Cincinnati, where 11 people died. Where they tried to remember, they let them in all at the same time, and there was this crowd rush. But that was the enthusiasm for the Who back then. That's really. I just remember that excitement as I was a kid, and what else? Radiohead. That was a great concert. Yeah, and Sinead O'Connor was a great concert.
That's cool.
Yeah. Gee whiz. Who else? I can't think of anybody else right now.
All right. One thing you wish you could change about the world.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh God.
Just one thing. I know you have a million probably, but
Oh, I want to make America groove again. I want everybody to quit fighting, and I just worry. I worry about our democracy and ourselves, and I think we're fighting against each other. And if I could just produce peace in the land in the United States of America, that's what I'd want to make happen.
I think the trick to that is just let everybody be who they want to be, and then everybody be happy.
Yeah. Do your own thing. Stay in your lane, and don't worry about everybody else. Just try to cover your own ass. I guess that's where that comes from.
So I have a final question. Do you collect anything?
Do I collect anything? I just old T-shirts. I collect rock and roll T-shirts, I guess. Old rockabilly T-shirts. That's what I collect.
Sweet.
any interesting interactions while here at con, or any cons really?
I was starstruck when I met Gigi and the woman from the
Cherie. Yeah, Cherie.
Cherie. Yeah, it was so cool to see them. Cherie was one of the Runaways,
Yeah.
the lead singer of the Runaways, and then recognizing Gigi from Farscape. That's a really cool attraction.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, she's so nice too. Like,
Yeah.
I normally don't think ever to be remembered by people. You know, I'm just one of the con people that they see in their passings of doing cons. She comes up and she's just like, "Oh, hi, Jeremy." I'm like, she remembered me.
Yeah, that Australian accent always knocks you out too, right?
Yeah. You went on that.
Yeah.
How's the comedy coming
along? In the sense of performing comedy.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while. I sort of I was doing it in New Jersey at open mic nights, and then I developed sort of a routine and whatnot. And at this point, I don't have a lot of free time to devote to it, unfortunately.
Which mic? I don't know.
It's the speaker.
Oh, it's the speaker?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so I've laid down the comedy and I've picked up the guitar to try to make up for the comedy.
well, that works.
Right, exactly. And my playing is almost as funny as my. Hopefully that'll fill up the space.
Well, I think that's about
But
all the
that's-
time we
that's-
have.
Yes, it is.
So,
So we will let this gentleman
do we
get
have
back
any
to his
questions?
table.
No?
Sure.
One more.
Sure.
What was the hardest part you remember about taking the bar exam?
Oh, there you go.
I actually took the California bar exam, and I took it times, and I failed all 3 times. And then you have to do a moral character and fitness examination for the California bar exam, and they looked into my past, and I've had a few ups and downs over the years, and they were and they looked into that or whatnot. And I remember them calling me on the phone. This is like a year or 2 after I took my final bar exam, failing it for the 3rd time. And they called me up and say, "Hey, you passed our moral character and fitness for being a California lawyer. You can be a California lawyer." And I said, "Well, I would have if I would have passed the bar exam, but that's a moral victory anyway." So that was, I think that was the toughest thing about taking the bar exam, was getting the moral victory in California, but not passing the actual exam. So that's my tough, my story, my war story.
I have one request while you're playing guitar out on the floor. Do you know a boy named Sue?
No, I'm afraid I can't sing that off heart.
Okay, well, I'll find somebody else to sing it. Just learn to play it.
We'll try. We'll see what we can do.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Maryland Poppin' HorrorCon. This was Richard John Walters, and
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you.
thank you.
He's here all weekend. Come on down, say hi, get an autograph, get a
We're
photo,
open
and
till 7.
listen to him play. Yeah, we're here till 7 today.
Free
and
parking
Free parking.
and food on site,
There is.
supposedly.
Awesome.
Are we out?